Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. If you're brand new to the channel, welcome to a video in this Michael J. Fox filmography series I've been covering on the channel, which you can find a playlist down below in the description box. And today I'm joined once again by the awesome Jacob Martin. And yeah, I'm not putting Jacob through a terrible movie this time in our terrible movie series. I'm actually putting him through an awesome movie that's called Casualties of War that came out in 1989 and is directed by Brian De Palma. Now, Brian De Palma, when I looked up his filmography, because I never really heard of this director before, and it could be because I haven't seen pretty much any of the films I'm about to mention, but they are big films in their own right. So for example, like The Untouchables, Scarface, Carlito's Way. Anyway, today I'm joined by Jacob to talk about Casualties of War, which is actually a first time watch for him, and we're going to hear from him in just a little while. So the plot of Casualties of War is essentially set during the Vietnam War. Max Erikson, played by Michael J. Fox, is trying to fight off the enemy, but also his own squad leader, Tony Meserve, as Tony Meserve kidnaps a Vietnamese woman and orders his troop to rape and kidnap this girl. Wow, I mean, that premise alone is just disturbing. And I read that this is actually based on a true event of the 1966, the incident on Hill 192. So the film itself actually stars Michael J. Fox, Sean Penn. We've also got Ving Rhames, and we've also got the first ever movie that John C. Reilly starred in, which is just crazy. So essentially it has got a big star-studded cast. And what can I honestly say about Casualties of War? Well, I mean, firstly, it's a 1989 war drama, and it's probably Michael J. Fox's kind of first ever movie that he did in Hollywood, where it was more of a serious, grounded role. And he never really had that level of seriousness and that kind of extra responsibility, because as Jacob kind of touches on his portion, that Michael J. Fox is mainly known for comedy. He's mainly known for being this kind of like happy-go-lucky guy. I love that they pushed the boundaries on this movie and they actually casted Michael J. Fox because he is just sensational. This is definitely one of Brian De Palma's highest underrated movies ever in his filmography list. If you go through his filmography, people are going to remember, like, say, Scarface and The Untouchables, and probably for good reason. I've heard that they're amazing movies, but Casualties of War is severely underrated because this movie is so gripping, it's disturbing, it's kind of traumatizing as well at the same time. Positives that I've got for this movie is pretty much most of the movie. Just the performances overall are solid throughout the board. There's not one single performance in this movie where you're like, it's kind of a deterrent factor. Not at all. Also, I've just got to give a shout out to Thai Fu Lee, if I pronounce that correctly, who plays Tran Tai Ohan, who in this movie adaptation they did change some of the real names compared to the actual real incident, for good reason, of course. But this woman played the actress who, of course, happens with this kind of kidnap and rape as such, and she plays a phenomenal role. I can't imagine that was an easy role to be in, but in general I can't imagine any of these guys playing easy roles. I've also found that a fun little fact is Quentin Tarantino himself considers this to be the greatest movie about the Vietnam War, and that is nuts. On set, Sean Penn and Michael J. Fox have great chemistry. Sean Penn plays a character, this Tony Meserve, who you hate, you despise seeing his face of every single second in this movie, in every single scene. But also a fun little fact is that on set he used to tell Michael J. Fox that he would only ever be a little small time TV actor to get genuine reactions, and that itself is just crazy because Michael J. Fox, you can kind of tell in his face every time he is frustrated, he's pissed, he's angry. I mean, he is generally about the situation because of these kind of 5 soldiers, 4 of them do despicable acts to this woman, but he's the only soldier who refuses to do anything to this woman. He wants to help her and get the truth for her and what is happening. But generally, that kind of just crazy morale in terms of getting genuine actions is just mind-numbing. It just blows me away. So with that in mind, what I'm going to do now is hand it over to the awesome Jacob Martin to discuss his thoughts and any positives and negatives that he has for Casualties of War.
To quote the words of Marty McFly,
Whoa, this is heavy.
Mike, what's going on? and all the viewers of Mike's YouTube channel. I hope you're all having an excellent day today. It's great to be back on your channel once again, Mike, talking about the 1989 war drama, Casualties of War. I know you wanted to start a series on your channel where you want to collaborate with others on movies starring your favorite actor, Michael J. Fox. I enjoy me some Michael J. Fox. He's given some excellent movie roles over the years, especially as Marty McFly. Casualties of War is a movie that I had not heard of when Mike suggested me to do this collab. This film was directed by Brian De Palma, a director I am greatly familiar with. He's the guy who directed excellent films such as Carrie, The Untouchables. He directed the first Mission Impossible film. I am pretty familiar with the guy's resume. I haven't seen all his films, but he's made some really good films. I'm sure Mike's already summarized the plot. What I'm going to say here in this video is, wow, this movie absolutely floored me. When this movie was first announced and they decided to cast Michael J. Fox in the lead role, I'm pretty sure a lot of people were hesitant about that because people mainly knew him best for playing more comedic roles. He got his big break in the sitcom Family Ties, and then of course he played Marty McFly in Back to the Future. He definitely has more of a charm, charisma to that character. So here he's in this gritty war drama and he has to go toe-to-toe with people like Sean Penn and Ving Rhames. And you're like, how is that gonna work? How is that even possible? Oh man, I gotta say, Michael J. Fox knocked it out of the park. He was absolutely phenomenal in this movie. In fact, the standout performance in Casualties of War was Michael J. Fox. I was blown away by his performance. He had some excellent acting chops in this movie. He plays a very serious character. He is actually the most reasonable character in this whole movie, because the movie involves these soldiers in Vietnam and their psyche gets put to the test pretty much. And the soldiers around them do some pretty messed up things throughout this movie because of the horrors that's going on. Fox's character just wants to do what he's supposed to do. Be the soldier, be a protector, help innocent people as possible while trying to survive as well. He sees the people around them abuse their power, and he starts to question what's actually going on, and things start to get way over his head.
You don't have to try and kill me, man. I told them, and they don't care!
His performance was absolutely incredible, and there's great supporting players along the way. Sean Penn plays a very unlikable character. He plays the jerk military commander. There's an extreme agenda that he has, and he abuses his power throughout the entire film. He and Michael J. Fox clash throughout this film. Sean Penn's character does some really unlikable things, horrible things throughout this whole film. And the whole time I hated his character so much that I wanted to punch him in the face repeatedly throughout. If the movie made me want to do that, then Sean Penn did an incredible job acting there.
Yeah, you got a weapon. We all got weapons. Anybody can blow anybody away, which is the way it ought to be. Always.
This movie does have some very well-crafted war sequences. Brian De Palma does a great job of shooting action and violence. There are some excellent editing techniques within this film, especially this scene involving a grenade in an outhouse, which I thought was very intense and thrilling. I must warn some viewers, if you're sensitive to more darker subject matter like rape, for instance, then this movie can get pretty brutal at times because the plot goes in some very dark directions. I think the movie overall is well worth getting through the rough patches of the movie because the movie is incredibly acted. There's powerful themes at times revolving around the horrors at war and how it messes with people, especially people with extreme agendas like Sean Penn's character. And the performances in this movie were absolutely outstanding. And Michael J. Fox's performance was absolutely fantastic. You think he would get awards nominated for this performance, but he didn't get nominated at all. He didn't get nominated for an Oscar, Golden Globe, whatever. And I thought that was kind of a shame. I thought he was fantastic in this movie. And it does make you wonder because Michael J. Fox had the cut his acting career short because he had Parkinson's. It makes you wonder what he would have done had he not gotten Parkinson's, and he would still be a prominent actor to this very day. I wonder what roles he would have gotten, the serious roles he would have gotten, and would he have gotten any awards or anything like that. Very interesting what if, but he was fantastic in this movie. Might be the best acting I've seen from Michael J. Fox, even though I'd say Marty McFly is easily his most iconic character and is the more rewatchable, better movie. But Casualties of War is a fantastic film in its own right. A criminally overlooked war film. I've greatly overlooked on a lot of Vietnam War Center movies because they tend to be more brutal than some of the other war movies. I've only seen this and The Deer Hunter, if I'm comparing the two Vietnam War movies I've seen, and easily Casualties of War is the better film. The story gripped me a lot more, and the performances were absolutely outstanding. I cannot recommend this movie enough. It's very dark in places and a little bit on the disturbing side, but the performances, the storytelling, the themes are all worth it, and I think it's a fantastic movie. Definitely worth checking out if you haven't seen it before. I'll be giving Casualties of War a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and on the 100-point scale, it's getting a 90 out of 100. Thank you, Mike, for having me on your channel once again, talking about Casualties of War. If you don't know who I am, I'm Jacob Martin. I do have a channel of my own where I do movie reviews, TV reviews, ranking videos, and other fun stuff along the way. Mike and I have collabed before on both of our channels. I've greatly enjoyed collabing with you throughout this year, and I hope to do more collabs with you in the near future, whether on your channel or on my channel. I greatly enjoyed talking about Casualties of War. Thank you for suggesting it to me. I was so blown away watching this film, and I hope to do more collabs with you in the near future. Mike, I won't hog too much any more time, so back to your thoughts on Casualties of War.
So, Jacob, my man, I am pumped that you loved this movie. Honestly, and I hit Jacob up about this because I'm trying to get people on these collabs who maybe have never seen these Michael J. Fox movies, just to educate them a little bit more about his filmography, because I believe his later filmography work is highly underrated. And Jacob said he'd never seen Casualties of War, so I said, right, you're going to watch this movie and join me on it on my channel, because I'd love to hear your thoughts. And Jacob, I am pumped that you loved this movie, man. Honestly, so cool to hear about your positives of the movie, how you were gripped to this throughout. And I agree, I was gripped also throughout every single scene, as Jacob said in his negatives, which I'm going to touch on in a second. It's not a movie for the faint-hearted. It involves a lot about kidnapping, involves a lot about rape. There's a lot of blood, there's a lot of violence, there's like broken bones. There's all sorts in this movie, and I felt like Brian De Palma went all out. So firstly, I just want to thank Jacob for appearing in the video, and you can find the links to his channel down below. Go give him some love, tell him that I sent you. But also, Jacob covers a lot of movie reviews, TV reviews, also ranking videos and other fun stuff along the way, as he said, and he certainly got a lot of fun stuff along the way. So go find that way and give him a follow, go give him a subscription, and tell him that I sent you. And on to my negatives of the movie. Yeah, as Jacob said, as I say, it's not a movie for the faint-hearted whatsoever. So if you are sensitive to any of those subjects mentioned above, do not check out this movie whatsoever, because as I say, it is based on a true story. But also the fact that, again, if you're sensitive to that material, you're not going to like this movie. You're going to walk away from it and be like, you know, that might even disturb you maybe a little bit more, you know, so I don't definitely want to implore that whatsoever. Yeah, that is kind of about it for my negatives, being honest with you, because this movie, again, is highly underrated. The performances are incredible. Michael J. Fox gives like an Oscar, Grammy award-winning performance, and as Jacob said, I am surprised he was not nominated at all. So with that in mind, Jacob already gave his score, but my score for Casualty of Wars is... So yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed this review and enjoyed Jacob being back onto the channel. It's so great to have you here, man. And again, the link to Jacob's channel is down below. We collab a lot on my channel. We also collab a lot on his. At the moment, we're currently covering the Harry Potter series, and you should see this before we kind of finish the end of the Harry Potter series. So yeah, also in the meantime, please give this video in the meantime a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. And until the next time that you see me, I'll be seeing you later.